Alright, what is up, my mates? We got some heckin' wholesome news. Totally heckin' wholesome news. They're gonna make a Baldur's Gate 3 TV show. Wow! Just what we wanted. It's so what we wanted. We wanted it so bad. No. Just announced in the last couple days that they would be developing an HBO Max series based on the events after Baldur's Gate 3, headed by Craig Mazin, who created The Last of Us, co-creator. He also made Chernobyl, apparently, which a lot of people pointed out that makes it better because The Last of Us was a bit controversial for game fans, particularly in the second season. And apparently he's a big Baldur's Gate fan. He's got over 1,000 hours. So that makes it okay, right? I think this is a huge mistake, especially since it sounds like Larian won't be involved, which obviously we probably knew that much because, well, uh, they're done with the game. They're on to Divinity. They didn't really want to work with Wizards of the Coast because it's such a compact system of rules. You know, they had to very much adhere to the D&D style, which they felt was limiting for them. Fair enough. They made a great game. All is done. Happy ending. The player gets to choose the ending of the game. So why are we making a little afterpiece? We're potentially bringing back the characters, potentially changing entire storylines that players themselves picked. You guessed it. Money, 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 money. We love hacking wholesome money. We love money. I mean, that's honestly the only reason, which is crazy. You know, they just have to find a way to bite off the success of the most popular D&D game potentially ever made. And let's continue it. Let's alter everything, you know? I can't think of any world in which this works personally, because there's so many choices in the game. Like, first of all, who's going to be the main character? Is it going to be the Tav? Who's going to be the Tav? What kind of everything down to the class choice of them? What kind of person they are? There's a lot of questions there. What they're gonna do, or is it gonna be one of the origin characters? So there's only about 4 that would make sense to be the lead: Will, Shadowheart, Gale, and Lae'zel. Their stuff plays heavily into the main quest, and a lot of their choices have an effect on the main quest. So very difficult, and what they do with the other origin characters, hard to say. Will Astarion be ascended? Will he not be? Will Shadowheart still be with Shar? Will she not be? Many questions. Does Karlach sacrifice herself? Lots of choices that they're gonna have to make, because it's not like the Fallout show where they can be a little ambiguous, especially considering this takes place right after, whereas the Fallout show takes place like 15 years after New Vegas, and all the endings are kind of ambiguous. And that's the thing, they're just single who you side with endings, but whereas Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot more character progression choices that people will be mad about if you decide to go one way or another. But it just really makes you wonder what the pitch was like. That were they sitting around and like, man, we really need a good D&D show, but it's too hard to come up with something original. Now, those don't do very good. Yeah, you know, those 3 totally didn't do good, and people totally didn't enjoy or are still anticipating releases from the Critical Role series that have done very well and are very much homegrown content. It's just unfortunate. I think the only way a Baldur's Gate TV show would have worked is if it's a prequel. Like if we got the Dead 3 doing everything, you know, to lead up to Baldur's Gate, and the last episode shows everyone getting in their pods, and then the last pod being the player character's pod, which is fogged up and you can't see, and it's like the announcer's like, only one hope remains, something like that. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd want that, but that could be better, especially if it's animated like the Mighty Nine or Vox Machina, which has done pretty well on Amazon. I mean, 100% Rotten Tomatoes score on both. It's well liked, well received. I think doing a live action of Baldur's Gate is a mistake, and I I can't even say cautiously optimistic because I'm not. It's gonna be crap. I don't care how many hours he's got in the game. It's not. I mean, sure, if he wants to base it off of his campaign, that's cool. Whatever. But it's gonna piss a lot of people off, and nobody was really asking for this. Nobody was like, man, I really think they should make a Baldur's Gate TV show to continue the story since we don't know what happened. And as if they're totally not going to work on Baldur's Gate 4 after the success of that new studio, sure, but you know damn well Wizards of the Coast is going to try and get that sucker pumped out eventually. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yay, Baldur's Gate show, or boo, tomato, tomato, Baldur's Gate show. Like and subscribe, and we shall see you next time, my mates.